Welcome back to this Al Jazeera News special, Inside Gaza. I'm Kamal Santamaria. Glad you could join us. There is a great irony amongst everything we're telling you today in that Gaza hasn't been more calm or stable than it has been in the past few months. We begin this part of the show with Al Jazeera's David Chater, who reports on how Hamas is trying to keep the peace in the Strip it took over.
The Palestinian president has accused Hamas of creating an empire of darkness and injustice inside Gaza and decreed their executive force an outlawed organization. A recruitment drive now underway here, though, is set to double its size to 12,000 men to strengthen its grip on the Strip. Their proud boast: we keep order on the streets, fight crime and collaborators. But the mission of this patrol was to check car registration documents. Nobody in the city has them. It's a revenue-raising exercise for the Hamas government, and it's leading to angry protests from drivers forced to pay more than $250 to regain their confiscated documents.
You have taken my driver's license and ID without giving me a receipt. Who are you? You're supposed to represent the law, but you are acting illegally.
A presidential decree has exempted all citizens of the Gaza Strip from paying any taxes. But the writ of Mahmoud Abbas no longer runs here.
There's little doubt the Hamas executive force have restored some sense of order to the Gaza Strip, as much as that's possible, in a territory still under effective occupation by the Israelis and effectively resisting it. But the real question is exactly whose law is being enforced.
And for Hamas and the Hamas-led government in the Gaza Strip to continue with collecting fees and taxes from the Palestinians, it seems to me that they are violating the Palestinian basic law in that regard.
Already blighted by the international economic embargo and now faced with a government forced to raise taxes to allow it to function, families here can only despair.
We have gone backwards 50 years. We need a system to move us forward. Any of the security forces could have imposed security, but the lack of jobs and the siege, all that created the internal fightings.
We are suffering from poverty and illiteracy. We want our basic needs provided for, or there will be no future for anybody.
Members of the executive force tried to keep our cameras away after they arrested two men found carrying weapons in the street. This isn't supposed to be happening here anymore. Just like there are no political protests, no political prisoners, no torture of detainees. Hamas say they respect human rights.
No civilians are allowed to carry guns, not even us when we are off duty. These two men violated that law, so we are taking them to the station and they will be dealt with.
On the surface at least, Gaza appears to have been transformed since the takeover by Hamas. A new sense of security seems to be pervading the Strip, allowing families to enjoy the freedom of their streets and beaches. But deciphering the truth here is getting even harder. David Chater, Al Jazeera, Gaza City.
Let's speak now with the spokesman for Hamas in Gaza, Fawzi Barhum. Mr. Fawzi, thank you very much for your time. We've seen how bad the situation is in Gaza. You know how bad the situation is in Gaza. I want to know specifically, what is Hamas doing to help the 1.5 million people still there?
Yes, basically of all, we have to explain that this type of tragedy which was created here in Gaza is not caused by Hamas. This type of crisis is caused by siege and embargo, which was created by American and Israeli and Europe.
Okay, then, so what are you trying to do to fix that?
Yeah.
What are you trying to do to fix that?
Yes, first of all, in a priority here for Hamas and unity government in Gaza, establishment of security, which was now is established, and everything like this type of breaking the siege and embargo, it will be need more and more contact with the international formula. Till now, there is more and more rejection from the international formula to be contact with our Palestinians. Result at 25 of January 2006 because America and Europe and Israeli occupation, and exactly now President Abbas and Salam Fayyad refused to deal with this type of result as a democratic process. So now the world punished the Palestinian people exactly here in Gaza, about 1.5 million Palestinians who was suffered under this type of embargo and siege because they are votes for Hamas. Exactly this type of torment to the Palestinian people is against the international law and against the freedom right for all the people is exactly here in Palestine. So
okay, Fawzi Barhoum, I'm going to have to leave it there. I'm very sorry because I've got Abdullah, a Fatah member in the Palestinian Legislative Council in Ramallah. We'd like to get his view as well. Mr. Abdullah, is there any possibility of talks between Fatah and Hamas to bring something to the people of Gaza?
If Hamas reneged all what it has done through their coup and everything comes back to legitimate order, then talk is a must between all Palestinian factions to find out the best way to confront this occupation of Israel and any attempt to keep the Palestinian issues, basically the political issues, the solution, the peace process, to keep it shelved for too long.
That's Mr. Abdullah, live in Ramallah from Fatah. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. I'm sorry about the short nature of this interview, but we are running out of time. And that's it. Thank you for joining us inside Gaza, a place with so many problems and at this stage, so few solutions. Whether any improvement is in sight for those 1.5 million people still inside the Gaza Strip is and will be open for plenty more debate in the future. And we will, of course, continue to bring you those stories with our correspondents Noor O'Day and David Chater, who you saw in this programme, and also Walid Batrawi in Ramallah and Jackie Rowland in Jerusalem. The stories of the politics, of course, but also of the people. I'm Kamal Santamaria here at Al Jazeera in Doha. Thanks for watching.